All right, welcome to Helpdesk Hangouts. Hopefully, some other people will be joining today. Um, we can go from there. Let's see, William, you there?
I am here. How are you, sir?
Pretty loud. Let me turn down my speakers. There we go.
Can you hear me fine?
I am doing well. Yeah, okay, I hear you great. I am looking forward to shaving my beard off here in November. But
I got rid of some of my scruff when it started to actually curl on the sides. We're like starting to pull on it, but they're starting to tug on this one because I got like gray hair here. So basically, just I guess it's the knot that they. Anyhow.
Well, I'm only growing my beard out because I told my wife that when she. So funny thing is, before we start talking about SEO here, is that I said, hey, when you get pregnant for the last time, the third time, I'm going to start growing my beard out, and I'm not going to shave it until after the kid is born. And so the kid's not due until November, and so I've been growing it out since then. And I hate it. I hate it. It drives me nuts every day.
Well, it's actually it looks like it's even though, just growing even. So
it is growing pretty even, and for the most part, I've had to trim up a little, a few scraggly hairs. Surprising how some hairs grow faster than others when it comes to your beard. With my head, I mostly keep it trimmed pretty short. Don't really pay attention to it. So hopefully we'll have some more people here join to talk about SEO. Otherwise, this is going to be a really quick hangout with you and me only.
No, I get you. Well, we're going to have Molly on the show, but she's actually at a tech conference right now, so she was going to join us, but it is that conference season, isn't it?
It is. Are you going to be attending any conferences over the course of the next few months?
Some local ones. Was it Sempo? Okay. That's going to be one that I'm putting in my application to speak, so that we'll see what happens on that.
Nice.
So, keynote speaker in Vegas in 2016, so I'm pretty excited about that.
For what?
It's for an attorney group, lawyers helping lawyers. So basically, they're open to helping each other, which is kind of odd, right? But at the same time, they're trying to actually help each other with trying to, like even like the 3-pack. The 3-pack has hurt a lot of smaller companies, but how do we come out of that, right? It's like, okay, cool, 3-pack happened, and maybe attorneys are getting affected by it, but then, how could they actually gain traction back into that space over their competition,
That's a good one. I mean, we could talk about that for a minute. The 3-pack with lawyers, I've had the chance to work with a lot of lawyers over the last few years. In fact, I just worked on a court case. I will tell you this. For anybody who's ever going to watch this, if anybody ever asks you to be an expert witness, don't do it. Don't do it. I've been doing it now for just over a year. Worked on a bunch of court cases now in the last year. Everything from helping to sue Fortune 500s for trademark infringement, and believe it or not, SEO can actually come into play there, and all the way to divorce cases for people who are doing libelous. They're going online and they're writing libelous content, setting up fake accounts to do things, and so there's lots of stuff that can be involved there. And when you have to do depositions and stuff, that is the worst thing to do. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. And if you ever are deposed and it takes longer than a day, then you know my pain. I just did a deposition that lasted 3 days.
Yes, I can completely get what I watched you disappear off the radar.
Yeah, and that's kind of why the last lawyer I worked with, I'm a big dude. I'm a tough guy, but he made me want to just go and cry. It was pretty brutal. So there's definite things in there. So as far as 3-pack though, in businesses, whether it be a law office or it be a
plumber
or anybody, and we'll not talk about locksmiths or taxi drivers.
No.
We shall not talk about them. But for everybody else who's really trying to do it right and everything like that, I think there's some awesome benefit to understanding how the value is there And then the question is trying to understand how to get your pages to rank, or especially in the 3-pack, of how to get your listing to rank. I haven't played around with local in a while. I mostly deal with national brands. So it is quite unique.
Well, and basically what I've been seeing, just as, when you look at the 3-pack and you look at even a plumber or an attorney or, any other company, right? There's only 3 spots. There was 7 spots. And then, if you hovered over each one of those spots, it would fly out a menu on the right-hand side that allowed you to see even more details, like, the company Google My Business page, right? So then you'd have like the reviews right there. But now you have to actually click either the website or click on the listing or click on more listings. And then that listing is even more competitive because it's a longer pack. You've got about, it's like almost a mini search result, right? So you've got 3 levels deep, so 3 pages deep. So how many results are going to actually show per page? And then where are you in that listing? If you're at page 3, how can you move yourself to page 2? And then eventually move yourself to page 1, and then maybe even going further a little bit in the 3-pack. So now you've got an opportunity. And local, I think, is just, it's a fascinating thing for me on what I've been studying, looking at everything from the Panda to, all the algorithm updates, and then to now, with the UI updates. I think it's fascinating the way they're developing the UIs, but I think that I really like the other UI better than this one. Not because it's a 7-pack, but just the way the layout performed.
So you're saying in a nutshell, though, that you like the old one, but you like the current one because it's kind of helping users?
Well, it is helping users fully, because it's basically bringing to the attention the person that's authoritative, that has the good reviews, that has a lot more, I guess, exposure. Because you look at some of these companies, they're just mom and pops. They're not getting out there, and they're not verifying their Google My Business listing. That's an easy one right there. Just, it's free.
Oh, but in the last week, I've had 2 phone calls from companies offering that if I pay them $250 for Google, they'll verify me.
Whoa, fantastic. Did you do it? Did you take the advance? Oh, that's a cheap deal, man.
Oh, I know. I had a good laugh. I kept the guy on the phone for about 45 minutes, and I said, he's like, man, you messed up at the very end of it. I was like, dude, I was never going to do this with you, man. He's like, I said, you called me. I was like, you don't even know the name of my company, for one. I was like, second, I was like, you didn't even know who I was, so you're doing a cold call trying to get a business to add their listing to Google. Sure. And I said, and all you are is just a hack. I said, the reason I kept you on the line is so that hopefully you wouldn't do this to anybody else. So hopefully I prevented you from spamming someone.
Well, that goes back to even some of the conversations we've had in the forums, Matt. There's a lot of people actually asking that same question. I keep getting these calls, or I keep getting these emails from people about Google My Business, right? Are those real, or are they fake? And Google doesn't call you. You have to call them. You have to go through the process, logged in, go through the process, call me, here's my correct information, here's my telephone number. I am a owner or a representative of the company. Hit submit, and then the auto system actually starts to dial you back. And then you have a phone representative on the phone that's going to walk you through how to finish your map listing, how to finish your Google My Business. I mean, the support's there, and that's free.
Yeah, it's sad that there's these scam companies out there that are trying, and they are getting away with it. They're taking money from people. I know they are, because their goal is, if I hit 1,000 people, if I get 10, well, I just made myself $2,000 for the day. And
that's telemarketing for you, though. I mean, you go back into the old days, like when we first started this whole thing. Look at automated phone calls. Now we just have a voice. They're still getting passive call lists, but then they're also now hunting down business owners because they're on social, and they also have a map listing. So it's like, okay, it's like easy targets. Put it into a database, then start calling. I mean, there's no way to stop it, but the way that we can educate people, I think, is, there's a great help document out there that Google's put out there on its own site, just helping you all the way through the steps of what is malicious, what is actually phishing, what is all that, information that business owners, I think, really need to see.
And if you just even do a search for like just a Google search for add my don't do that. Okay. So if you just do a search that says like add business to Google, you'll get a couple ads, and then you're gonna get, and one of those ads is actually from Google, and then you're gonna get the Google My Business, and you can add your stuff, and it tells you how to do it all, and so it's free. And I kind of feel bad for companies that get taken advantage of, or companies that get all of these phone calls, and it just never ends. It never ends, and it's like, ouch. And that's where the pain of it comes in. And I think that there's some good value in what those companies could possibly do, but I think they're going about it the wrong way. And unfortunately, that's what they're doing. And
yeah.
I want to see more good companies get listed in the 3-pack, or with their maps listings, especially. Like, I don't think it makes sense. This is maybe a personal gripe that I have. I don't think it makes sense to list those companies on a desktop search anymore. I don't know why Google does. I mean, I could understand, like, if you're searching for maybe some things, maybe you're only at home and Google can tell that. I mean, there's going to be edge cases for everything. But I would like to see that 7-pack more, or the 3-pack more on the phone. I would like to see maybe the 3-pack on the desktop, but a 7-pack on the phone.
Well, I think it goes back to relevancy, though. I mean, if basically, let's just take the lawyer example. That's a difficult subject for so many people, because there's a ton of lawyers out there, but they've realized the 3-pack has changed their industry dramatically, and maybe less phone calls, less leads, just by that one change. But how do they adapt to that? And that is, follow. What's actually listed in that 3-pack? Who's listed in that 3-pack? What are they doing different than you? Are they educating, or are you just kind of sharing? What are you doing? How's your, are you answering questions for people? Are you being an authoritative speaker on your topic?
I agree. I mean, the thing is, though, is, how can you help yourself more if you're trying to work on your maps listings? And I think one of the things that's important is reviews, obviously. If you have tons of reviews, whether it be negative or bad, it's going to help you. But you don't want that many bad, because that just shows you have an aggregate score of like one star with over 200 reviews. That's never a good thing.
Well, and that comes up in the forums as well, right? So it's like, okay, how do I even, let's take it to a little bit different level when you get a review. Now let's go, I have a bad review from an employee that used to work for me. Now we see a lot of that in the forums.
Yep.
And how would you respond to that?
So if it's a bad review from an employee, I would, if you're going to do like respond as owner, then you could just say, this is a former employee, and we understand that they're not happy with us, but we hope that you as a customer will give us a chance. And I would not throw fire or throw gas onto the fire, because we've seen that where a company owner will, be like, I can't believe this person I fired because they were doing X, Y, and Z, and I was angry at them, so I fired them. And, then what happens is now that person's going to go on like Google Plus or Google Reviews, they're going to go on Yelp, they're going to go on Glassdoor, they're going to go on all these different types of places, they're going to write negative reviews. Well, the problem is, and they're going to probably do a rip-off report as well. And when they do all those types of things, it's going to be negative. But all you have to do is just say, hey, we completely understand. This is a former employee. They just were not happy. You can't tell anybody if you're an employer why a person was fired. You just can't do that.
No, you can't.
But you can just say that, hey, this person is no longer with the company. And people will pretty much understand that meant fired. You just say this person is no longer with the company, and they've moved on to bigger and better things, and we look forward to working with our customers in the future. And
yeah, totally. That's exact. Well, and that's what I would have said too. You've done it much more fluently, but at the same time, as you're right, respond to it, but don't put fire on the already burning fire.
Come on, but it's funny
gas
when
on the
people,
fire, right?
Yeah, gas on the fire. It is funny when people do it, though. I mean, we've all had a good laugh. I mean, anybody who's watching this Hangout knows that you've seen that. We'll continue to see that. I remember the biggest one was Amy's Baking Company a few years ago. I think that was the best example of a social media meltdown and all that type of stuff. And that was pretty sad and pretty pathetic, but it did happen. And other companies do the same thing. Law enforcement agencies lately have become the brunt of that, where a law enforcement officer will do something like pull a weapon on a man for no reason, or they'll assault somebody and people are videotaping it. And now people are questioning why the police officers aren't doing anything. And then the police just start to delete the comments, or they'll start to, be like, you don't know anything, you don't know the situation. They go on the offensive, and instead of trying to just neutralize and diffuse the situation until the appropriate action can be taken, they try to escalate the issue. And that's where a lot of business owners, they do the exact same thing. And business owners need to understand, yes, it's your business. You love your business. You want your business to thrive and to succeed. The problem is you can't throw more gas onto the fire. That's why lawyers, if you ever notice, they never defend themselves usually in court because they're too stupid to do such. What they'll do is they'll hire someone else that is a neutral party in the subject. Lawyers are neutral. The lawyers are just there to argue the case, and they don't have an emotional investment, whereas the client has an emotional investment. And the client, if you've ever heard, is basically like, I want that person on the other side to just burn, to rot in hell. And that's what a lot of former employees will do. That's what former, XYZ, they'll do that. And so you have to be careful of that.
Absolutely. No. And that's what I see a lot of questions in the forums. So it's like we just covered a lot of ground really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think very needed for sure. There's too many of those questions because reputation is key. If you start seeing the negative reviews out there, they get worried. Look at Yelp. Yelp was a perfect example of that. A lot of companies did get very concerned because all of those Yelp results did show to the top on the negative side versus the positive side. So, but keeping it clean, responding like that is, I think, a very key and very unique, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it really comes down to, is being understanding and not going off the handle, which can be difficult for a lot of business owners to do. They're going to do that. It's going to happen. So, do you have any SEO things we should talk about today besides reviews and 3-packs and stuff?
Shoot, there's a whole Barry. Actually, I was hoping to see Barry today, but he was his Friday show was fantastic. Coverage, lots of good stuff in the industry. I don't know. I've been more focused on the ground on clients and everything else that it's come in kind of like this week has been kind of passing me by.
Yeah, same for me. There's some definite unique things that I think have happened in the last month or two with search and with Google and things like that. And I'm excited to see where things are going to be going. But yeah, so it's going to be good stuff. Now, let me ask you this. Did you become a TC now?
Exciting news. I was proud to announce that, yes, I have become TC.
Which means what, for everybody who doesn't know?
Sorry, that would be top contributor for Google.
There you go.
It's been a long journey since 2012, and very proud of helping as many people as I've been able to assist in the actual communities. From not only Google search, but in the Google Webmaster area as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, so I don't think you're coming to the TC Summit here this year, though, right?
No, I don't believe so. And that's okay. My goal is really not to even become TC. My goal is still to help people.
Help people, exactly. Next year, or I think 2 more years, there'll be a big summit, and come then and have fun, and we'll dance the jig and we'll enjoy it.
We'll have a chance to finally hang out and meet face to face. That'd be a nice thing to be able to do.
That's exactly true. Then we can find out how short or tall I am.
Yeah, I might be a little taller than you.
I'm 6'3".
Oh, nope, I'm the short one. I'm 6'1".
Nice.
You got me beat.
Gotcha by a little. So that being said, I think let's go ahead and wrap it up since nobody else has joined this week. And I will send out an invite here shortly for next week's. And we'll get this back on track.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for having me on the show. And this has been, we always have a blast, but at the same time as if we can get the group back in and really take off with this thing, there's a lot of people we can help.
Agree. And that's what we're here to do. Help people for free, pro bono type work. This is where we don't charge for an hour's worth of work. All right. Have fun. Have a great weekend and enjoy it, folks.